We're live right now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're here. Okay, welcome to this is AVG Fantasy Football, also known as Average Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Michael Marcanio. I'm the hostess with the mostest. I feel like I just said this before. I'm here with my co-host Tyler Revelis, also known as your boy T, with all the Miami Dolphins gear on. And I'm also here with my boy Andre Navarro, also known as, he was doing some gardening today. He's got his gardening bandana on.
Yeah, it's my mask.
Wait.
My side on, dude.
Yeah, my bad.
I fucking told you, man.
My bad. I forgot to slide it up.
It was not a flaw. I told you, right?
I told you.
Am I on yet?
We got a great episode. Today is episode 33. Yeah, you're on.
You sure?
Yeah, you're on.
All right, cool.
Season 3, episode 33. We're doing recent headlines. A lot of stuff's been happening. Will there be an NFL season?
Maybe.
This year. We're hoping so. We're praying. We're hoping and we're praying and we're hoping and we're praying and we're praying and hoping. Before we get started on so today we're talking about recent headlines for that. We got McCoy going to the Bucs. We're gonna do a little repeat and deplete episode as well. We're doing that little segment. If you're not familiar, we go through all the players and we basically tell you whether or not we think they're going to repeat or deplete based on their finish from the year before. And then we're going to get at the very end, we're going to give you a little sneak peek on guys. We're calling it the My Guy segment. Every year there's always a fantasy player that's your guy. You want him on your team. You're targeting him every year. And we're going to give you a little sneak peek on how we win our fantasy football leagues, and you could too. Okay? Before we start the episode, though, I just want to let you guys know, if you haven't already, please subscribe to AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. You can DM us any type of questions you have, any advice you need for your fantasy football league. We got your back. Also, if you haven't already, sub to us on the Apple Podcast app. If you could leave us a rating and a review, that's very, very helpful for us little boys. I can't say that. I keep forgetting I'm not supposed to be saying that anymore.
I thought you meant to say that. like out of the way. Like
HR talked to me and said I couldn't say that anymore in this climate.
Gonna get it right up.
Gonna get it right
He
up.
even had like a 30-second pause. He was like, not really 30, but he's like, little boys as little boys.
And also, I just want to say I have been working on the website. We're about to have the website live. We're going to start posting articles and stuff like that. And you can see our full rankings on the website. I would say probably within the next week, we're going to start posting stuff on there. So that's going to be really exciting. But we can get into it. You want to cut that intro music and let's start it, baby.
Yeah.
Let's do this. All right. Wait.
I don't know, I'm just hitting buttons.
No, you're good. There we go. So, for the first, hold on one second.
To the Bucs.
First thing we got going, we got LeSean McCoy is he traded or did they just sign him?
He just got signed.
Okay.
He got signed, yeah.
So LeSean McCoy signs to the Buccaneers. This guy's been all over the place the past couple years. What do you guys feel? Does this hurt your Ronald Jones value when you see this?
I mean, a little bit, right? A little bit, I would say. I mean, not much, but I mean, Arians likes it. I mean, likes the vets. I mean, I'm sure Brady's not mad at. I mean, Brady probably doesn't care that much, but he's an established guy. I think he got a ring. He didn't even dress for the Super Bowl though. I don't think. Definitely didn't play.
Oh, for the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a vet. I don't know how many touches he'll get, but he's for sure going to be the backup, I would say. Like, guaranteed. So he'll spell him out and then see how it goes. But he says he's still got some juice left. That's what he was saying. So.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, this doesn't really mean much. I think this is just more of like a depth signing. I mean, we keep touching on how, there's no rookie mini camps, they're kind of late, just getting into training camp in general, no preseason games. So I think they go out and they draft Keyshawn Vaughn to kind of be like that, backup or that, running back by committee guy with Ronald Jones. Obviously, he can't really learn the system and whatnot. So I think they kind of just bring in McCoy, who's, a savvy veteran, just a guy who's been in the league. He knows, certain playbooks, certain plays already. He knows how to be a pro. If anything, I think this kind of just, if you were high on Ronald Jones, I know Justin was. I know he kind of, swayed us over to that. And I'm, each more and more I look into it, I'm kind of higher on Ronald Jones, especially, he's being drafted in these later rounds. If anything, I think this is just good news because people will probably let Ronald Jones slip even further, and I'll be 10 times more inclined to go reach for Ronald Jones because I do think LeSean McCoy's best days are behind him. I was actually kind of hyped last year when he went to the Chiefs. I was thinking, like, hey, still LeSean McCoy, still one of the most elusive, explosive running backs in the league. You know, he knows Andy Reid's system. That's his boy from back in Philly. But, I mean, finished as RB 42 last year in the Chiefs offense. And you're thinking, like, okay, if you're a running back in the Chiefs offense, you should be, putting up some numbers here. But, I mean, couldn't even really beat out Damien Williams. I mean, 101 attempts, 465 yards, still 4.6 yards per carry, so that's pretty good. 28 receptions for another 180 yards and a touchdown as well. But, I mean, what's that, 129 total touches? I mean, I think if anything, that's like his ceiling in terms of like total
just
touches.
overall.
Yeah. I mean, last year I think it was Ronald Jones had 203 touches, and Peyton Barber last year had 170. So, I mean, we were all kind of talking before this that we thought Ronald Jones could see another 200-plus touches.
Yeah.
And then Keyshawn Vaughn obviously will probably get sprinkled in here and there. But, yeah, I mean, what is McCoy's ceiling for his total touches? I mean, like I said, 129 last year. I don't think he eclipses that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's going to be the rookie off the mini camp. He's going to start as a number 2 for like 2 weeks. I mean, unless he's good. I mean, 4.3 yards a carry is not bad.
4.6.
4.6. So. Yeah. I mean, the O-line was like, they're not bad, but they're not good. They're pretty middle. I would say they're average-ish. They're definitely not like a detriment to their team. So, yeah. I don't know. He's definitely buying. He's betting on himself. He says he's got some juice. So, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting though. That's another weapon. I mean, if he is good, I mean, Keyshawn Vaughn's almost 30. He's a rookie. He's old. I'm just kidding. Obviously, but yeah,
Are you going to be taking a shot on McCoy? Obviously, he's probably falling these later rounds. I mean, you might get someone who's thinking like, oh, McCoy, he's on the Bucs now. Like he's going to be the guy. They might reach for him. I know last year in one of my drafts, McCoy went in like the 3rd or 4th round.
Tripping.
Like someone reached for him that high. Where if I was drafting him, I had him in 2 different leagues, but I think I drafted him in like the 8th round because that's kind of where he was falling to. So I was like, all right, I can take a shot here in the 8th round on a guy who could maybe boom, but. There was no boom.
It was all busting, as Mike would say.
All bums, yeah.
I mean, if Rojo gets hurt, I would for sure be jumping to get him because he could easily beat out Keyshawn Vaughn, especially a rookie. Like you said, he's a savvy veteran. So if something were to happen, I'm immediately snagging him up.
Yeah.
So I mean, he'll be a higher upside, backup or like you said, maybe 3rd string. But yeah, if he goes down, I think it's open field. I don't care that Keyshawn Vaughn's a rookie. I think he'll give him a shot. Arians will give him a chance.
Yeah, but you're banking on Ronald Jones to get hurt then.
Oh, hopefully not.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he looks good enough, but it depends on how much they want to pass the ball too. They have all these weapons, so maybe there's just not enough mouths to feed or too many mouths to feed. I mean,
yeah,
to where he's just too far behind. I mean, he is 31, 32, so he's.
Yeah, I think he's just. It's like just a depth move. You get a veteran in who, because like
still
I said,
wants to play.
Yeah, who still could come in and play. I mean, they probably feel more comfortable throwing him in there compared to Keyshawn Vaughn right out the gate. So yeah, this doesn't really mean to me personally. This doesn't mean anything. I'm still sticking with Rojo, Ronald Jones. I definitely think he's a value too going in these later rounds.
If he does well though in the first, like, what if he gets like 15 carries, like 90 yards?
I'm trading him instantly.
Yeah,
but I mean, it seems like you're not even going to have him. So
yeah,
but
for sure.
I mean,
but if you did have him and he did that, I would probably trade him instantly. Yeah. I just can't imagine a scenario where he couldn't beat out Damien Williams to take over for the Chiefs. I mean, he already knows Andy Reid's system. That's his boy. And you're thinking with Mahomes and these. This high-powered offense. Like, if he couldn't get it done in the Chiefs' offense, I just can't imagine a scenario where he comes to a whole new team and he's just magically at 32, whatever it is, how old he is, he's just magically going to boom out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Right.
I hope he balls with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's, just light news. Obviously, he's a little bit older, but we can move on to there. This is kind of the more going into coronavirus, people opting out. So we have that here, players opting out. So you sent me the list on email, but honestly, I don't have it up.
Yeah, but we can kind of segue to the Chiefs. Obviously, I just said McCoy, he couldn't beat out Damien Williams. Damien Williams was the main guy there. The Chiefs, they go out and they draft CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of LSU in the last pick of the first round. One of our favorite rookies coming into the league. And it was kind of like you didn't know how much Clyde Edwards-Helaire was going to get because they still had Damien Williams. He's still a rookie. He's got to learn the playbook and everything. But comes out, you get a notification on SleeperBot. Damien Williams has opted to sit out for this season. So for me, that just opens up the floodgates for CEH. He was going already like in the second, third round, I think a lot of the mocks were doing.
Yeah.
And then now a lot of people are saying like he kind of jumps into like that back end of the first, start of the second, that turn right there.
Sleeper has him at 8.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Do you think you just said it right now off air, just joking around? I know you said it because he's on your dynasty team, but obviously they're going to need to go get another running back, because
sure.
they, you can't just have Clyde Edwards-Helaire and I don't know. I think they have Darrell Williams. Yeah, after that, but they're going to need to go get another guy, another body to be out there. God forbid Clyde Edwards gets hurt or he gets COVID or whatever, he's out. So you were actually saying, joking around off air, that what if Devontae Freeman went over there? I think it's a possibility. I wouldn't rule it out of the realm of happening.
That's the first thing I thought of. I hit up my boy. I was like, man, if he goes there. Because he was like effective in the receiving game. He was doing well in that.
Yeah, 70 targets for Devontae Freeman last year.
Yeah, his yards per carry was bad, but the Falcons' O-line was ass. So this is a completely different offense. I mean, I was telling Art when we were at the house, I was like, what better offense? I go, if any team to take a pay cut for, because he said no to the $4 million with the Seahawks. I would find it hard pressed for him to say no to 3.5 or 3 to the defending champs, where he could revive his career on a 1-year deal. What if he does well and he can go out and get another?
And then he can get a nice
another
little payday.
Contract. So it makes sense. And he has Drew Rosenhaus, who said he wants to get I feel like it's like aligning for that to happen, because he's like, he wants to sign him by the end of this month.
Yeah, clip that shit right here.
Hey, clip that fucking shit, dude. And he's still Devante's 28. That way younger than Shady. And it's just like I said, I feel like he's on my team, but watching him, he looked good catching the ball in open space. But yeah, his carries weren't very great. He found the end zone still. He had a few receiving touchdowns. So I just think he maybe needed a change of scenery. And I think this extended period of rest, I think is probably helping him, because he was banged up.
For sure, yeah. So Devontae Freeman it's not, anything set in stone, but just kind of like a hunch that the Messiah's got here. But
a little guess.
I wouldn't gamble against the Messiah. That's what we call him, the Messiah.
I get lucky sometimes.
But yeah, so Damien Williams, he opts out. Like I said, that kind of opens the floodgates for CEH to kind of take over. Now, like, where are you gauging him? Let's just say they don't go out and they don't get Devontae Freeman. They get like a decent backup, just a guy to fill in.
Yeah.
You thinking CEH is just the guy now and he's an automatic first-round pick?
I think he's a.
Or he's still a little nervous with he's still a rookie. Still got to learn the playbook and stuff.
I like 10 or 10, like 10 through 12, but I just can't see me taking him at like 8 or 9. I feel like there's still other guys I'd rather have.
Yeah.
Because like Joe Mixon's there. You can get a Chubb.
Josh
Jacobs.
Miles Sanders.
Derrick Henry could be. They're just. Devontae Adams is going to get a shit ton of looks. So it depends on the strategy you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, top 9. I know 10 sounds like so much further away, but that's closer to the turn for me to get someone else. So yeah, 11, 12 probably would be more ideal. But 8 is wild though. They have him at going like 8.
Yeah.
9.
I think it's kind of the stars are aligned for him just to shine, and he's not afraid of, the big stage. They won the national championship. He was a part of that LSU offense. So yeah, I do love Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's one of my favorite running backs. When we were looking at the film coming into the draft process or the NFL draft, I was really hoping the Dolphins could snag him like in the second round, because we had a couple second-round draft picks. Obviously, the Chiefs come in and get him in the first round. But I think if Mahomes wanted this guy out, the Chiefs called him and said, "Who do you want us to pick?" And he was like, "Give me Clyde Edwards-Helaire." So I can't imagine a scenario where, especially with no Damien Williams, that it's not they don't just hand him the keys to the car like they say, and they just let him
just ride with it.
So yeah.
Would you take him at 8? You have like the 8th pick? 9. We'll say 9.
I don't know. I don't know, because like you said, there are guys like Julio Jones and Devontae Adams who should see like 150 plus targets, and depending on guys like Mixon or it'd be tough between like him, Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders, Kenyon Drake. Like that would be like a little tier kind of off the top of my head of who I would maybe take. I don't know if I would take him over Kamara, but one guy was saying, he's primed to have that Kareem Hunt year, where he comes out as a rookie out of nowhere, and it's just, he has that monstrous, year. So
Shit, I will tell you what. This is a perfect scenario now where you can get CEH in the first, Mahomes in the second, and go get Kelsey in the third and just have 3 Chiefs.
I wonder who did that in the last mock draft.
Well, that was before
Although I
CEH
went Mahomes, Kelsey, CEH.
Yeah, now
that my mock draft doesn't seem so bad now, does it? That's right. It's called strategy.
Except that now no one CH ain't falling that far, but now you could do that. I mean, that is for sure possible based on ADP.
Bro, if you got Mahomes, Kelsey, and CH, you just like wake up in the morning and look at your lineup.
I was spit my beer out. Shit almost came out of my eyeballs.
I gotta adjust on the level so they're.
I'm just
looking.
I was just trying to use the new drop.
Yeah. I mean, for real.
Mike threw that in there. I was just trying to use the new drop somehow, but
Jurassic
sounded
Park.
kind of good, right? Because it's like,
Bruh, I mean, for real. Hey, that's like you
That'd be a good
scrolling.
meme.
That's like you scrolling down your picks, like on the draft board, and it just like the credits.
All right, yeah. So that's just interesting news. Like, obviously, no Damien Williams, boost CEH up. I know Devin Funchess, who's kind of one of my sleepers. I know you and Anthony Andre weren't too high on Funchess. You were more on the Allen Lazard train.
Yeah.
I was kind of hyped. I thought Funchess could really come out and be someone as the number 2 in that Packers offense with Aaron Rodgers. He opts out. Now that's all shot down. So now I kind of have to jump on board with you,
Hey, well, it's good.
with the Allen Lazard train.
He sat out because he's tired. He wanted to sleep. See.
Yeah. He was one of my sleepers.
Does he have any like underlining like health conditions, or is he just like?
I have no idea. I just saw,
wild. I mean,
I was actually gonna make a post that he was one of my sleepers, and then like right before I was with the post, I saw that he was opting out, and I was like, oh, good thing I did not post that, because I don't want people to come in and be like,
you literally were making.
Everyone so fucking stupid.
Yeah, you were fucking. Hey, he had those. Hey, if you guys watch the NFL Top 100, he for sure had the freshest glasses on the whole show. I don't know if you caught that.
Devin Funchess.
Devin Funchess had the freshest glasses. He had like the John Lennon frames, like red. He's probably blasted, but he had some fresh. I was like, those are fresh for a dude who's not playing this year, But
yeah.
Check that out. We'll talk about the top 100 later for sure during this episode, but.
But no, yeah, I was kind of hyped on Funchess. I mean, he's a big body guy. Mike throws up some of the highlights right now if you're watching on YouTube. But I mean, he's not the flashiest guy, but a big body guy, former 2nd-round draft pick. I mean, if you listen to it when we broke down the Packers when we did the NFC North division, I had some numbers on Funchess why I thought he could take over and be the number 2. I wasn't really sold on Allen Lazard or Kumaro or MVS or anything like that. So I thought Funchess could be the guy. So yeah, a little disappointed that he's opting out. I mean, obviously, I think things could change. Maybe he could change his mind for all you know. But so now that he's not there, are you kind of just like all in on Lazard as being the number 2 guy?
I mean, I would for the receiving core, yeah, but I feel like that opens up a little more for like Jamal Williams. It just opens up more looks for the running backs. They don't have a tight end, so it really doesn't matter.
A lot of people are hyped on Jace.
Yeah, Jay Sternberger.
Well,
just Aaron Rodgers, like we talked about.
But Aaron Rodgers just does not throw to the tight end for whatever reason it is.
Yeah, so I mean, I actually like Kumaro too. Aaron Rodgers does kind of like him, but he's a big dude. He's been in the league 4 or 5 years now. He's been one of those like depth, like trying to like work his way up. So I think this is his make or break year. But yeah, I think they're gonna give Lazard. He should get 100 targets now. 110. I feel like if anyone won, that's him. Like MVS did show flashes, but I think Aaron Rodgers just that deep ball. He can't really throw it as good anymore.
Yeah,
and
like
he's
you
like
said,
a field stretcher.
Lazard was ranked 4th in terms of man coverage, 4th best.
And as a rookie, that's impressive. I mean, even a second-year guy, anybody that's impressive. But to be
he is a
first
second-year guy.
He was a rookie.
Lazard?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's, yeah. I mean, it's good to see, but
What about I'm making a bold statement. You said Devontae Freeman. What if Dez Bryant comes out?
Dez
They go
Bryant?
and get Dez Bryant. You ever seen those
There's
highlights
so
of
many-
Dez Bryant on
He's
Instagram?
good.
Catching
I
it?
mean-
He's making like one-handed catches.
Yeah,
He's like
but
doing things that are like effortless.
Honestly, though, the problem is like Danny Amendola just posted a dope Instagram video of him catching balls. So it's like, but are you hyped on? I feel like you can edit together a video, make yourself look good. Like, I don't know.
I still think Dez is better
is
than
good.
a lot of the players that are in the NFL that are on the rosters. I don't know what it is, why he can't seem to get a contract. I don't know if he wants.
Didn't he get signed? He got signed in New Orleans, and then he broke his foot,
tore his Achilles.
Tore his Achilles,
like that, right at the first day.
Oh, see, I'm thinking it's like baseball. I forget like baseball and other sports, like you have to play a certain amount. He got one catch, so I guess he's not a rookie. So he got one catch. He played one game, got one catch.
So he's entering his third year technically.
So I guess, yeah, technically, yeah. In other sports, that doesn't count. I was like, yeah, nope.
So we're going to do a sleeper segment going forward. So one of your sleepers, Alan Lazard, then?
Nah.
I'm
still sleeping on him a little bit, but I'll find some other ones. But I do.
Damn, I like him, but not
But
that
I mean,
much.
for his ADP, especially if you're like in 2 flex leagues, like he'll be serviceable for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I know another guy that was kind of interesting was not a skill position guy, but obviously it's going to affect the offense as a whole, was the New York Giants offensive tackle Nate Soldier. If I'm
that's right.
pronouncing that right, Soldier or something like that. But yeah, so I was a little surprised to see that he is opting out. He's one of the highest paid left tackles in the entire league. I mean, the guy's going to make 10, 12, 13, $15 million or whatever it may be. I can't remember what it is exactly, but he's getting paid a nice little chunk of cash. And I think if they opt out, they get $150,000
up to $375. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is that what it is? Up to $375?
Yeah, it's like the minimum. Do you know why he's opting out?
No.
Oh well, fuck. I hate to not to be an asshole, but dog, his kid has cancer.
Okay.
He has like a young. I don't know. He has a young child, but yeah, they have cancer, so he's gonna sit out and handle that.
Take care of his kid.
Yeah.
And then obviously you don't want to risk getting in and maybe potentially.
That's why exactly their immune system's like shot.
Yeah.
So
giving it to your child in a sense, that would be the worst thing as a father. You go out to make some money, and then you give your kid coronavirus and he dies for some reason.
Yeah.
You probably would never forgive yourself.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got a good amount of money, but I thought the same thing. I was like, damn, why is he sitting out? And then I looked up, yeah, his kid had cancer or has it. So I was like, fuck.
That's crazy.
Good for him. I mean, good. That's a good.
Andre
move for him.
always knows all the crazy stats on everyone or the info on everyone.
That's why I had to ask before. I said I don't want to be like, dog, his kid's like, I was like, did you know? No, but yeah, it's still that's a lot of money on the table though to leave. But I mean, it's your kid. But
for sure.
He's still using the. He even told him, he's like, I'm using this as the excuse, but this is why, like you said. Like,
yeah. It's just crazy because I know their offensive line kind of struggled. Obviously, they addressed it in the draft. They go get Andrew Thomas from Georgia, the big left tackle. He was going to play right tackle. Kind of lucky. I don't want to say luckily for them, but I mean fortunate for them. He does play left tackle, so they could just slide Andrew Thomas to that left tackle position. But now they need another tackle. Obviously, when we touched on Danny Dimes, you were saying how much he fumbled. That was a large part because of how bad the offensive line was. So, I mean, maybe that hampers a little bit of Danny Dimes' expectations. You don't have these two anchors at the tackle position. Now you lose one of the centerpieces of your offense in a sense. Yep. Could really affect that offense to some degree.
Saquon, I mean, I'm still taking Saquon tops, but that still hurts. That's your top O-line guy,
For sure.
That's established.
And then you get what would you say, Mike?
No, you're good. You're good.
I was gonna say. So then also you got Marquise Goodwin. My bad. Marquise Goodwin from the Eagles. He decided to opt out. His was kind of similar. I guess him and his wife had several miscarriages.
Yep.
They finally had a baby, and he was just saying how he thought it would be selfish of himself to go out there and put his family's life in jeopardy or his baby's life in jeopardy just to play football. So, I mean, I'm not sure how much this impacts. I guess it kind of just opens up the door for Rager to really step in, because they traded. Or boy, who?
John Hightower.
John Hightower, you're right. So, I mean, I guess that kind of just opens the door. I think we kind of joke around with Alshon Jeffrey. He's on his last foot. I was actually reading something the other day that they could cut him or even try to trade him. I don't know what they're going to get for him, but.
Yeah, and Brewer, if you're watching, go pick up John Hightower on that bum team you just picked up, too. I know if you're out there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But, yeah, so this will just, I guess, just kind of, like I said, just less, targets that are, that are being spread around. Jalen Reagor maybe steps in a little bit more. Deshaun Jackson probably going to get a lot more playing time.
If he stops tripping about popping off at the mouth, maybe.
Yeah.
No, and my boy, I just told him to go get Hightower. He got Reagor, so I was like, just, give yourself a little wiggle room.
Yeah.
But no, that's gonna be that'll be big time. They need receivers too, and they go and sign one, and he's like, I'm sitting out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You hear that voice squeal? Yeah, that's rough. I think with a lot of these guys opting out, obviously these last two is a little bit different, but I really do feel like they're opting out right now because there's a lot of complaints that Roger Goodell doesn't have really a plan to keep everybody in bubbles. And I think once they establish like a plan, these players might actually come, I think they're doing it for right now because they're just kind of saying like, hey, figure it out, fucking get something together so that way when we start the season, we don't just all get COVID and then it ruins the season because they want to play.
Yeah.
Like I keep seeing that all over Twitter is like, we want to play, but just like set up a system, some type of system, something. so we can be comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I think once they set that system, like I said, is once Roger Goodell actually like makes some moves, then I think that people will be more comfortable and less of them will opt out for the season.
For sure.
Yeah, clip that shit.
Clip
that
it.
shit.
Send it to
Okay,
Goodell.
yes, sir.
Does he have
Yes,
an
sir.
IG? I don't know if he has a handle, but tag him in that shit.
Who, John Hightower?
No, the commissioner.
Oh, Roger Goodell. I don't think Roger Goodell. Dude, if Roger Goodell had an Instagram, it would just be all hate comments. Fuck
sure,
you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
He'd probably follow nobody.
It would be, bro. This one guy I used to know. He had zero like he followed nobody. It said following zero on Instagram, and he's like, and then his bio description says, "I follow no one."
Jesus.
And I'm like, so your Instagram feed is just nothing?
Yeah,
It's just blank.
that's like half the point of
That's
Instagram.
just-
That's why I don't get when people follow like 2 people. I'm like, so are you that type of person where you just
like,
post
just
about
post-
yourself and
yeah.
not even give a fuck about anyone else?
It's so funny.
Anyway, yeah, that's for
But that's a different thing.
That's for our Instagram podcast. But that's
Yeah. But okay,
what do we
do you
got?
guys want to keep going on these opting out? I feel like it's,
Well, I had
okay,
2
that's
on
fine,
here that
that's
was,
fine.
these are on the defensive side of the ball, but obviously, fantasy football, in some leagues you'll have defenses. I feel like most leagues you'll have defenses and kickers, but one of the defenses that I think is going to be one of the biggest busts, obviously, the Patriots defense last year was just wild. I mean, they were like a top 20 in terms of they were like a top 20 overall player. Like they were scoring more points than like the skill position players. They were scoring more points than some players you drafted in the first round. They were just going bonkers for you if you had the Patriots defense. But
killing.
I think they're going to be one of those defenses where they're probably going to be the first defense off the board in most of the leagues. And I think they're going to be going pretty high. They're going to be going in like the 6th, 7th, 8th round in some of these leagues because people are going to
Somebody's
reach
gonna
for them. Yeah. But I just wanted to touch on it because I thought it was interesting. They lose Diontae Hightower. He decided to opt out.
What the fuck am I talking about?
Pro Bowl linebacker out of Alabama is really good. They also lose Patrick Chung, who's just a savvy veteran safety. I mean, he's been on the Patriots defense for I can't even remember how many years
He
he's been on there.
He left and went and came back.
But just another good player on the defense right there. And then I don't think people understand this. They lose 3 starters in free agency. Kyle Van Noy, the linebacker, they lose him to the Dolphins. Just a good linebacker, edge rusher. They also lose Jamie Collins to the Lions. And then they lose Danny Shelton, who's a former first-round defensive tackle or nose tackle. He also goes to the Lions as well. So you have 5 starters potentially, or pretty much 5 starters basically, who aren't going to be there that was there last year. So I don't know if we do like a bust segment. I was actually going to put the Patriots defense as my bust.
Yeah,
because I feel like
because there's so many people
there's just
opting
so
out.
many players opting out. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to doubt Belichick and what he can do with that defense. But I mean, if you're losing 5, almost what is that? Almost 45% or whatever of the entire defense that's not going to be out there.
Yeah, no.
So I just think that and one of the stats we see too is the number 1 defense has yet to repeat as the number 1 defense the following year, at least for the last I think it was like 11 or 12 years as far as I've looked back. And then I just feel like a lot of people are going to be drafting the Patriots defense as the number 1 defense off the board, but these are just a lot of red flags here. 5 guys aren't going to be there that were there last year.
No, for sure. And it's hard to replicate. Even if they were healthy, it'd be hard to replicate what they did, but this just doesn't help them at all.
I wouldn't be drafting them
Kyle Van
either
Noy's
way,
a big
but
loss
yeah.
to the Dolphins. Like he was good for them. So yeah, I'm gonna fuck with the Chargers defense this year for show.
What about the Steelers?
Nah,
Yeah,
I mean Minka.
Steelers
Yeah, no,
defense,
they got Watt. No, they're good. Watt, Bush. They got one guy. At each
Devin
level.
Bush is a savage.
They have
dude.
one guy at each level. Yeah, they got
Yeah.
Watt, Bush, and Minka. Yeah, they're good.
Minka and Joe Hayden.
If they had Shazier, they'd be killing. But I feel like they wouldn't have
Yeah.
gotten they wouldn't have gotten Bush if they had.
I think Devin Bush is good though. I think
No, he's a
he just
savage.
had 1 year, and he still did crazy stuff in his 1 year.
Yeah, no,
with
he's gonna
Pittsburgh,
make
but-
that jump for sure.
Dolphinitely.
Dolphinitely.
Anybody else that opted out?
No one yet. There's actually, I think there was 12 or 13 teams where no one has opted out yet.
I
But
know.
each day, obviously, things change day to day. So
I
Yeah.
did read that Sonny Michel's up in the air. He might opt out, but he should just.
Yeah, he
he
should probably
opt
just
out.
quit in
you should
general.
just drop out.
He should just be out. They're like
he
for
should
Corona.
retire.
They should be like for Corona. No, I'm just not trying to play this year. I'm good. I'm tired. I have surgery. Yeah, he's my favorite player if you couldn't tell. So,
Yeah.
all right, what we got, dude?
All right, you guys want to move into our favorite segment?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
You ready, dude?
I think so. Let me hear it.
It's time to repeat or deplete.
Hey, all right. So the rules of repeat or deplete, guys. Is you have 30 seconds. I'm gonna give you
I love these.
I'm gonna give you the running back, and I'm gonna give you the finish for that year.
All right, we have to freestyle this one. That's fine. We can do that.
Oh yeah,
I like
hold
it.
on.
You have to tell them that you didn't tell us these players until we got here, as just for fun though. Like,
Yeah.
we already knew, but like
Well,
for
you
fun.
can't. Yeah, I mean, you. I briefly went through it with you.
No, I'm saying though, you're like scrambling it. You know, it's like for fun.
Yeah, I scrambled it. Definitely, I
we're-
definitely did that.
we're good.
All right, so we're gonna go first player here. You got 30 seconds. Mark Ingram finished running back 8 in 2019. What do you got? Wait, let me reset this timer.
I thought you were giving yourself 30 seconds. I was like, go ahead, bro.
No, Mark Ingram finished RB 8 last year in half-point PPR leagues in 2019. So 2020, is he going to repeat? Is he going to get 8 or better, or is he going to deplete?
ET, you want?
Repeat or deplete?
We'll switch off. You want to go on this one first? Or
I'll
me?
go first on this
Do
one.
it.
Okay.
All right, 30 seconds. Boom. Start me now. I'll say deplete, and here's why. So finish RB8, but you got guys like Saquon, Kamara, Mixon. You know, those guys were all lower than 8. Even Kenyon Drake, Josh Jacobs. Those are guys I could potentially see creep into the top 8. I do think Mark Ingram's still a good RB2, but, I mean, you go out and you draft J.K. Dobbins. They're obviously going to utilize him. You know, you still have Lamar Jackson, who's going to run the ball and stuff like that and get those rushing touchdowns, which can snake Mark Ingram's touchdown upside.
Bam! Finished on the dot. Very good. Let's go. Wait, oops. So what do you think, Trey? Tyler says deplete.
Am I starting?
You ready?
Yep.
Go.
I agree with my boy T. Deplete. I mean, really, J.K. Dobbins, but on top of that, he had a touchdown every 20 carries or so, which is pretty wild for a guy who's coming on his age 30 season. And he just had 15 total touchdowns, which is also crazy. So regression's already assigned as is for any running back with that. But, you know, on top of getting a young guy out of Ohio State who's super fast and just getting older, zing.
All right, let's go on to
Mike, what do you think?
I'm gonna say deplete. I'm gonna agree with you guys.
It's tough. I get Mark Ingram in one of my leagues every single year. I've had him for 4 straight years.
Yeah.
I'll probably get him again, but I'm gonna get Dobbins with him though.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's crazy. It's funny when you see some of these finishes. You're like, oh shit. All right, let's go on to the next one. Here we got Todd Gurley finished RB 14 in 2019. Who wants to go first, baby?
Trey, you can get this one.
all right, I'll go. I'm
ready?
gonna say deep. Oh man, it's tough. I'm gonna say deeply, but not by much. But it is alarming that he's over here just talking about maybe not playing. Like I doubt it, but he's still at least saying it. Just 14. I feel like the reason he was 14 was because of the touchdowns that he had. He still had a decent amount of touchdowns. I'm putting him at like 16 though. I'm not going too far back, but I like the offense more than I like him as a whole because he's got other dudes, you know, to help him out. So, yeah.
Okay,
So,
it
that's
seems like
touchdowns.
it hurt your soul.
Because I was like, because it's like 14. Yeah, what he could finish 15, but I have to say deplete because 15 is you know what I'm saying, is higher. So
I
was
got
like,
you. I got you,
shit.
dog. I got you.
I might
All right,
snag him though. Third
Tyler,
round.
you ready, baby?
Yeah.
30 seconds.
I was going to say repeat at first, but I don't think he'll finish as RB14. So I'll say deplete, but kind of like what Andre said, just by a slight margin. I still think he's a top 20 running back. I mean, I think he's got a lot to prove. And as long as the knee holds up and as long as he actually plays and he doesn't opt out, I mean, I think he's primed to have, you know, like the bounce back play of the year type of season in this offense. You know, you got Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Matt Ryan behind the helm. So, yeah, and he's on a 1-year deal. So if he wants to get paid again, he's gonna have to go out and perform.
Bam, right on the dot, kind of, almost.
Fucking on the dot. There's nothing better than getting it on the dot, kind of almost. Like, there's very few things that feel better than that, and I can't even think of one right now.
All right, so we got
You
next,
think, Mike?
Todd Gurley, running back 14. I think he's gonna opt out. He's got a wanky knee. What did you say
And
that one
is
time?
true. That is true.
What did you say that one time about his? There's no such
He has
thing
an
as-
arthritic component.
Yeah, you don't. There's no such thing as arthritic component. It's you just have arthritis. So
True.
if you have arthritic component in your knee, count me out. I think RB14 is too much. I think we'll deplete. All right, let's go into the next one. Here we got James White half-point PPR leagues, finished running back 22. Honestly, I thought that would be higher. So, just because I guess it's half-point PPR. In PPR, he probably finished much higher. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know.
You want to go first or me?
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, we could just alternate. I'll go first on this
All
one.
right, ready?
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, so I'll go repeat. James White's actually one of my favorite running backs to draft in these later rounds, especially if you go like wide receiver heavy or draft a tight end or quarterback higher. But, I mean, 95 targets last year, 72 receptions, 645 yards, and 5 touchdowns. I think he's pretty much going to do the same there. I mean, he's a center point of this offense. I mean, you still have, Sanu and N'Keal Harry and Julian Edelman, but I think, Cam has had a pass-catching back like Christian McCaffrey before, and he knew how to utilize him. I think they do the same thing with James White.
Yeah. I don't know where my phone just went. Yeah, very good. Cam Newton does know how to use a little pass-catching running back, dude. You're so smart.
Yes, dude. That's what everyone says.
Eric, here you go.
Go for it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna say repeat, but go ahead, hit it. But I'm gonna tell you.
Did I? Oh,
I'm gonna say repeat, but it's only because Sonny Michel's on the team, bro. It's the only reason. Like if Cam Newton didn't throw it to his running backs, I would not do it. But I feel like he's gonna get 100. He's gonna get 100 targets again. I mean, I felt like last year was like a bad year for him, but I think that's also because the year before was so good. So I think. Yeah, like T said, he's just a better pass catching option, better in the open field, has a nose for the end zone, and Sonny Michel's there. So,
bam.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give myself 30 seconds real quick. All right, so James White, I think, dude, I love James White. I don't know why I gave myself 30 seconds, but I'm going to say repeat. James White's the man. I hate Sonny Michel.
Are you gonna take him in your draft?
I'll target James White in the later rounds, especially if I end up accidentally going wide receiver heavy, since running backs are coming off. Yeah, because I know I'll do it in at least one of my drafts. So yeah, I'm gonna target him later on. Love it.
Would have been funny if you went over, but you control the clock, so like no one can tell you shit.
I just refreshed it.
You should have just kept going.
All right. Going to the next one here, we got Ronald Jones. Obviously, we talked about Damien, LeSean McCoy going to the Bucs and how that could affect the team. So last year he finished running back 26th in half-point PPR leagues.
It's perfect, dude. We flip-flopping here. Now you get your guy from USC.
USC, let's get it. All right, yeah. I'm gonna say repeat. 199 total carries, like I was saying. I want to say last show. He's still young, third year. Like I was saying, also the COVID thing, rookies aren't adjusting as quickly, or it's going to take them longer. So he already has, the upper hand, and he's going to get every shot to shine. It's his job to lose, and he's getting better and better. He's making the progressions, and like I said, at 23, you can't be too mad, and his ADP is solid. So
it's crazy to think he's 23 years old.
Yeah, it's wild. He got drafted at he was like Juju.
Yeah,
which is crazy. 2 20-year-old guys, but
right. Okay, Tyler, ready?
Yeah.
30 seconds on the clock.
All right, I'll say repeat. 203 total touches, just to correct you so no one else does.
I said 190. I just said carries.
Yeah, 172 carries, but 203 total touches.
I said 199 carries for his career.
Oh, first career, my bad. All right.
That happened last episode, too.
Yeah. 1,000.
You got to clip that.
1,000 total yards, only 6 touchdowns. 31 receptions on 40 targets. Only 1 drop for a guy who isn't a pass catching back or can't catch the ball. So you like seeing that. So yeah, I think tied to this offense, rush 4. I know I'm going a little bit over, but rush 4.2 yards per carry with a bad offensive line should be better. The offense should just be better. So yeah, I'll say repeat.
It's okay.
Hey, no, Mike.
Hey, I'm just trying to correct you. That way no one else.
No, Mike. No, Mike. You have to clip. He literally did the exact same thing. I was like, no, he has 195 career carries, not touches. But if you can find, that'll be great, dog.
Yeah.
That'll be fucking, because he did it the exact same way. He's like, no, you're wrong. I was like, no, I said carries. He's like, oh.
Well, dude, it doesn't matter what we do. Someone will comment that we messed up on something.
Yeah. I like that he's getting better at passing, but yeah, I just like his 195 career carries. Catching, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll take. But yeah.
All right, we'll move on to our next guy here. We got Devante Parker. We're going to wide receivers, baby. This is your boy.
Dude,
this is your boy right here.
He might name his son Devante. He's going to name him Devante.
This is your guy. Okay, so he finishes wide receiver 7 in 2019 in half-point PPR format. 30 seconds on the clock, baby. Let's go.
All right, so this is my guy, and he is going to be my guy if you stay tuned. But I'm going to have to sadly say Deplete. I just think wide receiver 7's pretty high. I don't think he finishes top 10, top 20. I do like it. And if you keep listening, I'll tell you why. I think he's still a top 20 wide receiver. I'll say Deplete. I mean, he led the AFC in receiving yards for wide receivers, and he had 9 receiving touchdowns, which was most in the AFC as well. I don't think he sustains that, but I think he's still going to put up some solid numbers.
Very good. All right, so sorry. Dang, yeah, it's a wide receiver 7. And what is he getting drafted as right now?
I mean, I feel like we've been doing these mock drafts, and he's been going in like the 6th round.
Yeah. You're getting value if he can repeat what he did or be close. He's
even if he goes like 12 or something. You're getting value there for sure.
Fuck, even 15, dude.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, let's get it. 30 seconds on the clock. Wide receiver 7. Repeat or deplete?
Deplete. But same thing. I mean, 7 is tough. If he does it again, then he's going to be, he'll be entrenched as like a top 2 round guy. But I'm going to just name a couple games, points that he scored after Preston Williams got hurt. No order, no weeks. He was gone. 17, 31, 21, 19.6, 17.7. Like, those are all really good numbers. And that's just being the number 1 guy. So,
yeah, it was pretty much after Preston Williams got hurt.
Yeah.
He was pretty much the only guy they had there. I think he only had maybe 1. He might have had 0. How many double-digit targets did he have prior to Preston Williams getting hurt? I think it was week 9.
Week 7, he had 10, and that's it.
But after that, 10-plus targets pretty much every single game, right?
Preston Williams went down like week 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Week 10 and on, 10, 10, 11, 10, 2 against the Jets, but his snap percentage was
he got hurt that game.
Yeah, 25%.
Yeah.
And then 7, 15, and 11.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was averaging, other than that game, if he played fully, he was averaging over 10 targets a game.
Yeah.
And with no Breida, who's going to be there also who can catch.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just good because that means the team's getting better as a whole. Like, I'm sure he would rather take less, being a top 10 wide receiver, even though he likes to go back and forth with Michael Thomas about it.
Yeah.
But he would rather win and have a whole team to where he can, kind of run around and not have to be the main focus of the defense.
For sure. Mike?
Wide receiver. You're gonna have to say Deplete just because I don't think he'll, like you guys said, he's not gonna finish as wide receiver 7. But I definitely think he's worth value, like you said.
Yeah.
Exactly what you guys said.
For sure.
So we just talked about Tyler's boy. Now we're talking about Andre's boy, Keenan Allen. 2019 finished as wide receiver 8 in half-point PPR leagues. Where you at? Repeat or deplete?
8, man. Yeah, you gotta let me think of it. 8 and
Okay, I think you could.
In standard, that's tough because in standard leagues I don't think he can repeat that, but in PPR he can. I don't want to give you too many. All right, fuck it. Go ahead.
All right.
I'm gonna say repeat. I'm gonna say repeat. I'm gonna save some for in about 15 minutes when we talk about him, but I mean the dude just gets open. One of the best route runners in the league by for sure. I would say top 5. He's up there. One stat I will give you is that he hasn't missed a game in 3 seasons. So best availability.
I
know, and people always tag the injury prone on him because he had like the kidney laceration, then he got hurt, another injury.
Couple fluke injuries.
But I mean, 100 or 48 games straight or played in a row, I would, I'm saving the numbers for later, but yeah. But that number 8, it's close.
Tyler,
it's close.
Go?
Yeah, so I'll say deplete. I'm not discrediting Keenan Allen. I think he's one of the best route runners, like Andre said. He's one of my favorite players in the entire league. But, 135 or more targets in 3 straight years, 97 or more receptions in 3 straight years. I'm just not sold on Tyrod Taylor I think he's never topped 3,500 yards, give or take. Don't quote me on that exactly. But it's more tied to Tyrod Taylor and, how good is this defense going to be? They might not need to throw the ball as much as they did in prior years. I know Dres probably got a lot of stats on him. I think he's more of a wide receiver 2 than a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, like wide receiver 2 with wide receiver 1 upside almost.
For sure.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
where he's getting
he-
drafted.
By the way,
That's where he's getting
quick
drafted.
on Twitter, he just called out.
Yeah.
He called out some guys, but yeah,
Oh,
we,
I got
we
that
can talk
here
about that
clipped.
later.
Oh, yeah.
So we got. What are we lagging on
Keep
here?
it pushing. Fuck it.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Sorry, I'm spacing out for a second. We got
You good.
Jarvis Landry, wide receiver 13 in 2019. Repeat or deplete? Will he finish wide receiver 13 in 2020? Where will he be?
Gee, what do you think?
All right, so wide receiver 13, I will have to say deplete, but not by much. I mean, it was 1A, 1B with him and Odell last year. He actually out-targeted Odell, and I think that stays the same. I think it's still a 1A, 1B scenario, but you can get Landry a round or two later than Odell. I mean, and just one of my favorite players, and in terms of, the guy's a savage. He hasn't missed his game his entire career. I mean, before Michael Thomas burst out into the scene, he for the first 3 years and the first 4 years, he had the most receptions for the first 3 or 4 years in the entire NFL. So just a guy who's got a nose for the ball, especially in PPR leagues.
Dolphin.
Still a top 20 wide receiver, but deplete by a little bit.
Yeah. All right. What do you think, Andre Navarro?
I don't know if I need 30 seconds for this one.
Nice.
Pups disagrees.
Yeah, Pup said repeat, but no. I mean, T covered it all. I mean, career high. He had a career high in receiving yards last year, career high in yards per catch, and this is like a bad Odell year. I like the Stefanski offense, but yeah, I would deplete. But yeah, he's not out of the top 20 though. He's
I would say 15. Let's say 17. I'll say he'll finish
I
17.
think that's a good gauge right there.
17.
yeah.
So draft him
he's
as
always up
a
there.
wide receiver, total wide receiver 17.
Yeah, I think you're getting Landry in these later rounds. You're getting him in the fifth, sixth round of
crazy.
drafts, and I think he's the perfect wide receiver 2 for you. And I joke around all the time, but you can get him as your third wide receiver, and to have a wide receiver who's your third receiver, but now can be a top 20 wide receiver. I mean, you'd be stacked at the wide receiver position.
Well,
He's so underrated every season. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's not the breakaway speed guy, but he's the Anquan Bolden. Is just the guy who kind of reminds me of.
Yeah, that's why I say him and Tyler Boyd are similar, and they're both super underrated.
For sure, yeah.
So, and he plays, dude. Wow, he has never missed a game in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's played every game.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's a
him and
savage.
Russell
6
Wilson,
years.
I think, right?
That's fucking not even one game. That's impressive.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. All right, we can move on to our next one. We got wide receiver 16, DJ Chark. DJ Chark kind of came out of nowhere last year. Where do you guys think he fits on here? Repeat or deplete wide receiver 16?
I say deplete.
Deplete. Okay, here you go. Sorry.
I mean, not much. I mean, just the offense was all the way around, but I mean, they get Laviska Shenault. They're just gonna switch. I just feel like he's not really a wide receiver 1 anyways. I feel like he's a really good wide receiver 2. I'm not really. And plus, he fell off at the back end of last year anyway. He started off super hot. So I'm gonna just say deplete. And not only it's not a detriment to him. I just think other guys are gonna make the jump, more or less.
I still think maybe wide receiver 20, 23.
Like Juju's gonna be better than him. That's just one I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So
All right, well, let's
OBJ
go.
is another one.
What do you think, Tyler? Wide receiver 16, 2019.
I'll say repeat. DJ Chark's actually one of my favorite value picks in this entire draft. So 118 targets on 73 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. I mean, the rapport between him and Minshew was just it was there. I don't know what it was, but it was there. Obviously the guy that he looks for, for that deep ball. So the touchdown upside of getting 10-plus touchdowns is there. And I think 118 targets, I think he eclipses that. I think he pushes 130 targets. And obviously if he can get that, I think he pushes over 1,100 yards. So, yeah, and I think this Jaguars defense is going to be really bad. They're going to have to be airing it out a lot. And as Minshew's, go-to guy, Chenault's still got to learn the offense. Didi's kind of a PPR guy. Eifert's just a red zone guy.
And they hate Fournette.
Yeah, so I think Chark, pushing 130 targets, give or take. Yeah, I do like DJ Chark.
Very good. Yeah, I already kind of said where I'm at on that. Let's go on to our next guy. We got the homie Stefon Diggs leaves the Vikings and goes over to the Buffalo Bills. He finished wide receiver 21 last year, but now he's on a new team, new offense. Josh Allen's throwing him the ball. Does this change your opinion of him, or are Josh Allen and Kirk Cousins about the same on passing?
See, that's you first.
All right, I'll go deep. Repeat, my bad. I'll go repeat. I think he stays around there, like 20, 21, 22, give or take. I mean, 94 targets. He's never really been a big target guy. Only 1 year he had 150. But 94 targets, 63 receptions, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. I think that's pretty much like what he can get with Josh Allen. When we break down the Bills in the AFC East, I have some more stats on why I have him at like wide receiver 20 range. But yeah, I say repeat. I think he pretty much stays that same stat line.
Yeah, I'm going to say repeat, but way higher than – would you have him, T, 20? Dude, I'm getting water.
21.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm big – I had him in my – dog, I'm dying.
You want me to get some more?
I had him at 12 or 13. Yeah, I'm big on Diggs. I mean, he's never been inside of the top. 1 year in standard, he was 12, but other than that, he's been right around the outside. But I just like the deep ball. I think Josh Allen's making the big jump this year. And I think, I mean, he finally has like a true one. Like, I'm a John Brown owner, but he's not a number one receiver. I think he finally has a guy who can not only stretch the field, but Diggs can run good ass routes too. So I just like the combination of his speed and being able to stretch the field.
I think Josh Allen's gotten more accurate too.
I have a crazy Josh Allen stat for later on too.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to do you think Diggs finishes better than Chark?
Yeah.
All right, you want to beer bet that?
Oh, for sure. Hey, we're 6 feet away. You just
wait, here, write that down. Wait, do you have a pen? Write it down.
Yeah, I got. But like I said,
Right.
I'm
So
like bullishly high.
I'll say DJ Chark.
I keep forgetting
half point
we're recording
PPR.
this.
We'll say half point PPR, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
because they're both standard. They're
Neither of
probably
them
more
are not
valuable
really
standard.
big reception guys, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll take DJ Chark to finish better than Stefon Diggs. Dre will take Diggs to finish over DJ Chark. Beer bet.
Okay,
Beer
sounds
bet.
good.
Yeah.
It's just hard to go back and look at it. So if you just write it down fast, we can.
Oh no, we'll remember for sure.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, right. We forget all this. We got first tight end we're going to talk about here. We got, where did that go? Oh, where did these go?
I got more things to say about Jared Cook as a person than football.
Well, hold on.
Not like in a bad way.
Let me know if you guys can just go. Oh, dang it.
All right, even better because I don't need 30 seconds. I'm going to just say Deplete. He had a touchdown every like 5 catches, 4.7 catches. And Emmanuel Sanders is there. Kamara's going to have a bounce back year. And Jared Cook just only getting older, and he's probably another concussion away from being done. So
you're going to say.
I'm good. He's gonna be outside of – I'm going to say outside of the top 12 easily.
All right. Wow.
Don't
There it
draft
is.
him.
All right, I'll say Deplete as well. I mean, 9 receiving touchdowns. I think that was second most for tight ends. And, for the tight end position, I always say if you can get 5, that's pretty good for a tight end. So he gets 9, but barely tight end 7. If he falls down to that 5 touchdown area, then, the receptions weren't really there. 700 yards is pretty good, but like Dre just said, you get Manny Sanders back. Kamara, who I think only had a handful of touchdowns, should creep back up into like the 12-plus touchdown area. And then obviously you got Michael Thomas there. He's like the 4th option now, I feel like, in that offense.
And Latavius, you said, got a good amount of love. So
Yeah.
All right, we can go on to our next guy here. When I tell you who it is, we got Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki actually? How did Mike Gesicki finish as a tight end 11?
I can tell you how later.
All right, so Mike Gesicki. Obviously, I'm a Dolphins fan, and Anthony's a Dolphins fan too. We kind of have different opinions, me and Anthony, on Gesicki. I'm a little higher on Gesicki, I think, but tight end 11, I think he repeats there. I think that's a good baseline. I don't think he falls outside of the top 12. I think he's still a top 12 tight end. I think it's a little kind of – we'll see what happens in this Chan Gailey offense here. But, I mean, Gesicki's a freak athlete. He's 6'6", like 240, ran like a 4.4 40 or 4.5 40. He's just a freak athlete. But, 51 catches, 570 yards, and 5 touchdowns. I think he can repeat that again with Fitzmagic at the helm.
Yeah.
So, I'll say repeat.
He says repeat. What does Andre Navarro think of Mike Gesicki?
I agree. I'm going to say repeat. And it's funny, he's 11. This is just one stat I'll give you. He was one of 11 tight ends to average 5 points per game in standard leagues. So, that puts him, that's as a second-year player who came along in the the second half of the season, I'll take. And what's funny is you're alluding to what T was saying about how athletic he is. Everyone talks about Njoku and like how much of a freak he is. Gesicki beat him in almost every single number at the combine. He's just as athletic, actually more than Njoku. And he's better.
More athletic than Njoku. Watching Njoku goes to the Dolphins.
Hell, they wouldn't.
He's going to end up on the Patriots.
Didn't they just get it? They just got another tight end, didn't they? The Dolphins?
Yeah, the Dolphins traded for, but he's more of like a blocking tight end.
Who was it again?
Adam Shaheen or Shaheen
for the Bears. That's right.
Xavier Grimble. Okay.
Hey, he's from Vegas, USC.
Yeah. All right, we got the last one on here is Greg Olson goes to the Seahawks, no longer on the Panthers. It's so weird. I feel like maybe it is just like every year, all these players changing, but it does seem like this year there's a lot of players that have been on the same team for a long time and all of a sudden are on completely random teams. But so Greg Olson finishes in 2019 as tight end 13 in half-point PPR leagues. What do you guys think? Repeat or deplete?
I'll go repeat on this one. I actually think he can creep up into the top 12 tight ends. Like you just heard me say a second ago, if you can get 5 tight ends touchdowns as a tight end, that's usually pretty good or good enough to get you inside the top 12. I don't know what it is, but the tight end position in the Seahawks offense is just it's fantasy gold for whatever reason. Russell Wilson looks for the tight end a lot. Usually get like 7 to 8 touchdowns on average over the last couple years. I mean, and Greg Olson's just a savvy veteran. I think he can get it done in this offense. So I'll say repeat.
Oh, this one's tough. I'm gonna say deplete, but it's really just because there's guys that I just like more than him, like around that area. Like you got like Gesicki, Jonnu Smith. Like they moved Austin Hooper down there. There's just like other guys that I just like more. But what makes me reluctant to say that is because the Seahawks do whatever tight end does go there. It's like plug and play, but. This is close, but yeah, they're just guys I like more than him right around this like area of tight end. So I'm gonna have to.
I feel like he's I don't know. I feel like his ADP was pretty dang low. It was like in one of the final rounds, but I think repeat. I think Greg Olson, as long as Will Dissly doesn't keep his job there, I think they paid Greg Olson some money because Will Dissly got hurt last year. I think Greg Olson can repeat and do even better than tight end 13.
Yeah, I think he'll outplay his ADP, but I'm saying finishing 15 like that range is going to be just tough. Sure. But I mean, 13 for him, I don't feel like that's solid.
Right.
He's like 85 years old. So
yeah, he is like 85. Okay, so that's it for the repeat or deplete segment of the podcast.
I like it.
And then we're gonna go into now. Listen,
my guy.
Throw that Jurassic Park theme music on real quick. Listen, when you draft your fantasy football team, there's your guys, and these are our guys right here.
Guys.
Did I time that good?
I'm honestly excited because I don't know whose guy goes first, but I'm ready.
Okay, we got. Hold on 1 second. Let me just throw these. Let's get this together here. So we got. Hold on.
So we got Devante
Parker,
who's my guy in real life, and he's my guy in fantasy.
That's pretty much his whole life is revolving around.
And you're thinking, oh, but my boy T, you just said deplete on wide receiver 7. How could he be your guy? Well, he's still gonna ball out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Gonna buy that, baby.
Let me hear it.
But yeah, Devante Parker, he's my guy. I mean, and I just think looking at some of the early rankings from the experts or just people on Instagram or whatnot. He was being ranked in the top 10 of wide receivers overall, which even as a Dolphins fan, I thought that was kind of outrageous. I mean, I do think he's super talented. One of my favorite players in the league, obviously, he's on my favorite team. But top 10, I think that's a stretch. If he can do it again this second year, then I think we could be talking about top 10 potentially. But, I mean, the guy is super talented. 128 targets last year, just a little bit over 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Like I said, he led the AFC in receiving yards, 4 wide receivers. Led the AFC in receiving touchdowns as well with those 9 right there. So you get Fitzmagic. Hopefully, me personally as a Dolphins fan, I think Anthony would agree as well. I kind of hope Fitzmagic just stays the quarterback the whole year. Maybe towards the end of the year we throw Tua in there, get him some reps. But, with Tua's hip, I'm kind of just praying that they kind of just nurse him, especially with this whole coronavirus thing. There's no rush to throw him out there. I don't think we're going to be a playoff team realistically anyway. So no reason to throw 2 out there and get him hurt. But if Fitzmagic stays the quarterback, we get Chan Gailey, who was actually the offensive coordinator with Fitzmagic for 2 years when they were on the Jets. These were those years that Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker had some pretty big years. But the number one wide receiver in those offenses for those 2 years, 173 targets, which I think is pretty outrageous. I think that's a lot, actually. But then 123 targets. So, 128 targets last year for Devante Parker. If you're telling me the baseline for the wide receiver one in Gailey's offense was 173, 122, I'm okay with pacing Devante Parker at like 115, 120 targets. And, he's not a big PPR guy anyways. He's a big touchdown guy, 8th highest yards per reception. And he's a contested catch guy. So 400 receiving yards on contested catches. That was the second most, just behind Kenny Golladay. He's like a big body guy where, you just throw it up to him. He doesn't have to be open for him to, go out there and make a play. 22 tight window receptions, which led the NFL. Like I said, I feel like Fitzmagic just kind of, would chuck it up to him and let Devante Parker go up there and do his thing. And like I said, he doesn't need a big target share, only 128 last year. So if that number falls back down to like 120, he only had 21% target share in terms of the team. And that was actually tied 32nd for wide receivers with guys like Kenny Golladay. And we're all pretty high on Kenny Golladay. And, when we talk about Kenny Golladay, we talk about how he doesn't need a ton of targets. He might only get you 65 to 70 catches, but he's going to get you, over 1,000 yards. And, he's got that 10-plus touchdown upside. For, there's one reason why I like him. And then just another thing why, he's my guy here. Interesting stat. He raped the defensive player of the year.
Dog. How did he manage to do that? And then he still managed to man up and be able to guard him after getting raped? How do you do that?
So I just thought this was interesting. Obviously, Stefon Gilmore from the Patriots, he wins defensive player of the year. Pretty much locked down all year. No one was doing anything. But Devante Parker, that game against the Patriots, which was a crucial game for the Patriots. If they beat the Dolphins in Week 17 in New England, they would have had the second seed, I think, so they would have had a first-round bye. If they lost, they got the third seed, which ultimately they ended up losing to the Titans. But 8 receptions on 11 targets, 137 yards for Devante Parker that game against the Patriots. Now, not all of those came on Stefon Gilmore. He only lined up on 40 of the 45 routes, so majority of them came on him. But 7 receptions on 9 targets for 119 yards. That's what came on Stefon Gilmore. And that was actually the most yards given up by Stefon Gilmore since he joined the Patriots back in 2017. So, if he could do it against the defensive player of the year, the guy's obviously talented. I think one thing that is kind of tricky when gauging him is that, last year, before he kind of really broke out, it was him and Preston Williams, 1A, 1B. I think they were pretty much neck and neck in terms of targets, yardage, and I think Preston Williams might have had a handful more touchdowns, but they're pretty much 1A and 1B down that stretch. But I think that second half, I think the chemistry and the rapport between him and Fitzmagic just really, blossomed. I think, going into this year, I'm not sleeping on Preston Williams. I think the guy's super talented still. He's probably going to be the number 2 on this offense, but I think Devante Parker really solidified himself as the number 1 in that offense. And, he's the go-to guy in this passing attack. And like I said, he's one of those guys where he doesn't have to be open to be open. And I think Fitzmagic learned that, and he trusts in him. Like, hey, I can throw it up to this guy, and he's going to go up, and he's going to come down with it. So, yeah, love me some Devante Parker.
If I didn't know any better, that's his guy. If I didn't know any better.
That is his guy. All right, you want to move on to the next one? You got anything else for Devante Parker? You want to speak on that?
I agree.
Do you love it?
I think he's finally playing into where he got drafted. So,
yeah, Devante Parker, draft that guy.
Put him on your team.
Hey,
put him on your team.
Hey, draft that guy.
Hey, draft that guy, Okay, let's move on to the next guy here. We got your boy, Keenan Allen. I was supposed to go next, but
no, you good.
I had you. You cut the line. I let you cut me. Actually,
you can clip this whole thing.
Fast pass, dude. Fast pass.
I'm gonna say, before I start, I've never owned Keenan Allen in any team ever. Never owned him ever in my life, but I'm gonna try this year. I don't even know where to start.
How about a glass of water?
Seriously, I have to do this segue. I have to do a good segue.
Yeah, every podcast you have to drink
Dude,
water
I'm dying,
during
especially
the podcast.
today. All right, I'm
Do
gonna
you
go
just
with
eat
his
dirt before you get in here. Or
Dog,
what?
I mean-
what is that? How come do you like get nervous? Like, he's
Like,
like, oh shit, it's on me. It's on me.
always, and especially today. I probably did eat dirt. I was doing
He's
a
like, I'm
bunch of dirt work.
next hug.
Yeah, dude. Even at my house, like if I sit there and I'm like chilling, I'm like, yo, and it's just raspy. I'm like, that's what happens when you have a raspy voice, dog.
Bro,
It just-
imagine he just has a cup full of dirt. He's like, oh, about to do the podcast. He goes,
hey, and then I LeBron fucking spit it out, just dirt. But all right, I'm gonna go off his top 100 and then kind of work my way down. So I wrote down he was 77th overall in the top 100 that just came out. Bruh, they're straight tripping. They put him as a number 14th wide receiver. I went and I looked. They had Larry fucking Fitzgerald in front of Keenan Allen, dog. And I get it. This isn't a lifetime achievement award. This is top 100 players in the NFL right now. And ain't no fucking way I'm taking Larry Fitz over Keenan Allen any day of the week. No disrespect to Larry Fitz.
yeah, but I mean,
First ballot, yeah, but this is top 100, not who has a better career, who's going to be first ballot Hall of Famer. Because if
Right.
that was the case, Larry Fitz is top
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. So that made me go and look, and I was like, all right, now I'm going to start looking at some shit. So I already said he hasn't missed a game in 3 seasons. In those 3 seasons, I averaged what he gets, and you can sit here and tell me if this is the 14th best wide receiver in football. Ready? He averages 148 targets, 101 catches, 1,262 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
It's pretty good.
it's pretty good. It's good. It's like
That, I mean, 100
Consistently
catches.
good.
And what's funny is he's averaged he's gotten 6 touchdowns 3 straight seasons. So he's 666. So you're getting 6 from him, but 100 catches and 1,200 yards is fucking stupid on 148 targets. Last year he was second in the NFL in catches and 5th in yards. And that was with a bad Phillip Rivers and a bad O-line. Granted, it is Tyrod, but just to go in on that, he tweeted and he goes, Chris Godwin, he said, Chris Godwin, Tyreek Hill, and Mike Evans are not better than me. He goes, they're faster than me, yeah, but he said, creating separation, come on, bruh. And I couldn't agree more. There are guys that are faster, but Keenan Allen gets open against anybody. And I don't care. People can be like, oh, Tyrod, like, I don't know about him. I bet you Tyrod's going to fucking pass him the ball when he's open by 3 yards. You're in the NFL, you're going to be able to find a guy who gets open as often as he does. And he's a number 1 on a team. I think he has an easy path to 140 targets. I think he's going to get over 1,000 yards. I think he's going to get 100 catches. And he's probably going to get – and now he's been getting – he was already mad about his Madden ratings. I think he's coming out ready to just shit on everybody.
Yeah.
I still have a few more stats, and which none of them have him ranked under or higher than 14. So still, I'd like to know how he's 14. He was second in catches, 5th in receiving yards. In completion air yards, 831. He was 10th in the NFL. He was 9th in YAC with 368. He was 6th in the NFL with 14 red zone targets. Let's see. He was he ran a route on 89% of plays. That was 10th. I mean, fuck. His target rate, he got 6, which I guess is like every amount of plays. Wrong one. Sorry. Yeah, no, his target rate or target percentage was 9th in the NFL, which is I don't see it going down. So, I mean, he's top 10 in all those categories. I just don't see him. I just don't get how he was 14.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
And do you think that Felipe Rios leaving helps him?
I think he's one of those players, and do you hear what Sherman said? He goes, you'd be crazy. He said, they were on NFL Network. He goes, I would take Keenan Allen on my team any day of the week. You'd be crazy not to take him. He said he's one of the harder covers.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I would,
One of the best route runners in the game.
Yeah, I put right here top 5 route runner in football because Devante Adams is fucking good. You got Amari Cooper who's really good. So you got some guys that are technicians, but he's consistent though. 3 straight years hasn't missed a game. Oh, and in those 3 years, he's finished 3, 11, and 14 in standard and 3, 6, and 12 in PPR. So he literally doesn't. I just don't understand how he just gets no love all the time, and man's a boss, and he works too. So, and at the bottom I put Houseway. I don't know Houseway. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but people do. I don't get it. That's all right.
I don't get it either.
That's fine. A
You're
lot,
just
a lot
not
of
gonna
people
tell
know.
us?
No, it's too much to explain. But a lot of people.
I do like Keenan Allen. I'm just concerned that with Tyrod at the helm, I do agree. Like, if Tyrod wants to stay the starter, you're going to want to, fucking not fuck up. You want to be able to score. You want to complete the ball, get first downs, score touchdowns and stuff like that. So obviously you're gonna go for the guy who's wide open. Keenan Allen, we just said how he's such a good route runner. I'm just concerned that those days of 140 plus targets are gone, and he's gonna push maybe like the 120 target range. I don't know off the top of my head, but they were just saying the numbers that Tyrod had when he was a starter. Like his attempts weren't very high, his like total touchdowns weren't very high, his passing yards weren't very high. So it's just like, but I guess if there's gonna be a guy who's gonna get majority of them, I would assume it'd be Keenan Allen.
And he's never been in an offense that is as good, I'm assuming. The Bills were boo-boo. They didn't really have anything. He's never had a receiver like Keenan Allen. But hey, I promise you this, Keenan Allen knows what I mean when I say how Sway. Yeah. It's Kanye West. He went on the show with Sway, and he was like, you don't have all the answers, Sway. How, Sway? And Sway's just like,
okay. I actually think I know the video you're talking about.
It's funny as fuck.
That's really funny.
But yeah, how, Sway? How's Keenan Allen the 14th best receiver?
Drag.
They put Diggs. They put Diggs up there too.
Actually, those are Breakfast Club.
They put Diggs at like 11. But I fuck with Diggs. But yeah, 14 for a guy who's been a top 7, top 8 talent the last 3 years consistent. I can't name a receiver who's averaged 101, 1260, and 6 touchdowns through 3 years.
I think he's going like the 4th or 5th round from what I can remember in these mock drafts. So I don't know if he'll be a wide receiver 1, but I think he could be a good wide receiver 2 for you, especially when you're not spending like a high draft capital on him. If he falls like that 5th round, because I think people are gonna like let him slide.
I'll catch him like this.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I'll catch him. I got you, G.
Keenan Allen in the 5th round.
Oh, I hope he's there.
All right.
This is a year. He better not fucking let me down, but I don't think he will. I think he's ready to ball out. So
I like it. You sold me. Give me the magic. Give me Keenan Allen.
Get him in another league. The league I'm not in.
Yeah.
And he's only 28. He just
That's crazy.
So he's been in the league a good amount. Those are like your prime years. 26, 27. So I think he still has 3-4 more solid productive years.
Yeah.
Easily.
You know who has a lot of more years coming?
Your guy.
My guy.
Dude, your guy.
So listen, Tyler went homer pick. Your boy goes homer pick.
Oh, you went Diontae. You didn't even go Juju?
No,
Ooh.
we going Diontae Johnson, baby.
I'm so mad I didn't get it.
Listen, dude. Diontae Johnson.
Toledo?
There's a reason that you don't hear about him. For one, it's because the quarterbacks were poopy.
Yeah, a guy named
we had
Duck.
Mason Rudolph, who had a dent in his head. He couldn't throw the ball.
Racist.
And then stupid. Okay, and then you had Duck Hodges, who everybody was screaming. I remember we went to the Steelers game. Everybody screaming to put Hodges in, and it wasn't that much better. But anyways, so yeah, I think you kind of say with Juju is you don't get a fair chance to judge Juju. You really don't get a fair chance to judge Johnson. But while we judge him, let's go look at what he had: 92 targets, 59 receptions last year, 680 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He had 5 touchdowns with those quarterbacks on the ball. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, all of it.
I think for it to make anything,
that's probably his floor. You would think,
right? But with the circumstances and watching every Steelers game and how we were just basically playing defense the whole game, for him to score 5 touchdowns, that's dope. He has 18. He had 18 forced missed tackles, tied for first, not for rookies, for wide receivers. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So the ability to make plays when he catches the ball.
He's first in average yards of separation for wide receivers. He had 59 receptions, which was most amongst rookie wide receivers last season.
It's pretty impressive.
Pretty hot. These stats are hot, dude. They're hot like cancel, dude.
Cancel. And you know what's funny?
And his ADP's in the 9th round, so you're grabbing a guy that has. And if Big Ben stays healthy, you're grabbing a guy in the 9th round that can literally be. Obviously he's probably the 2 on there, but if Juju can't prove it, I think Diontae Johnson can make shit happen. I think, yeah. And you're grabbing him in the 9th round. What do you got to lose?
Yeah, I do like Diontae Johnson. Like you said, he's one of these later round receivers you can grab. And, if he could put up those numbers like you just said with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph, I would only assume with Big Ben that he could do just as good, if not better. And then I think the one stat that was pretty interesting you said, Mike, was the target separation. So, a guy he's getting open. And, I think Big Ben is going to be able to find him. And if Juju struggles for whatever reason, I know some people think that he can struggle or whatever. He can't be the one. But if he does struggle for whatever reason, Diontae Johnson's getting open, I think Big Ben's capable enough to find him and go through his progressions and stuff like that.
Because Ben, he's that kind of gunslinging quarterback. He'll throw it to covered guys, but I mean, obviously, if you're making that much separation, you're gonna be targeted most. He's actually speaking of targets, he was actually targeted most out of all the Steelers wide receivers, actually more than Juju.
And he had the most catches as a rookie too, right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, most
crazy.
rookie receptions. Yeah.
What's funny is I remember him coming out. I want to make sure. Yeah, it was Toledo.
That's the same year as DK
and a strong wide receiver class.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember reading his player profile. The one thing they did say was that he can run routes like a bitch. Like that's why they liked him.
Like a bitch.
Yeah, I remember reading about him because I was like, man, who is this guy? 2 years ago, and I'm like, because you hear Toledo, they don't really put out that many guys. But the one thing they did say was that he can create separation and he can run every route on the tree. So that just goes to show you that that it translates whether you're a college dude or if you're fucking Keenan Allen is getting slept on, or Diontae Johnson.
I would say Diontae Johnson's also kind of what we were hoping James Washington was going to be with
For sure.
Mason Rudolph, being because they went to college together. You kind of were hoping for that, but it seemed like Diontae Johnson kind of stole the show for wide receivers last year with, Juju got a little bit hurt, and then,
Big Ben called out James Washington that game, and he just was never the same.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that can really happen in the NFL. Like, you can just have one bad game and it screws up your whole career.
Well, especially because Big Ben's a piece of shit, so he probably holds
Big Ben,
grudges.
dude, he's not. He loves Jesus now.
Yeah,
Listen,
we'll see.
Dude, he's addicted to porn and alcohol. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
that's me. My bad. Fuck.
I was like, are we talking about Big Ben or your boy T? I don't know. I can't.
dude,
It was not a flop.
See, hey, you know what would have been a perfect clip for that if you had the Michael Jackson Man in the Mirror, just clip.
Hey, by the way, if you're watching this right now, please like this video if you haven't already. It helps us out. I just noticed
and tell a friend
we've
to
had
tell
a
a
decent
friend.
amount of people watching it, so
tell a friend.
Yeah, tell a friend also. Just like the video. Press that thumbs up.
Subscribe. Yeah, look, send me the video of you subscribing. I'll send you some in and out.
You know, back in the day, YouTube, it was a rating. It was you could rate it with a star thing. It was 5 star. This is
iTunes and shit.
This is early YouTube. Yeah, it's the same. It's how Netflix used to be too.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
Mike knows all that knowledge.
Yeah, I was on, bro. I had a YouTube channel when I was in high school. It's called Bryson Mike. Is me and my boy. Anyways, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, like this video if you haven't already.
Yeah.
But is there anything you guys want to touch on before, or do you want to touch each
I got
other?
one.
Or
No, I got one just for the sake. See what he says. T, since our guys, are you willing to say Devante Parker has a better season than Keenan Allen finishes higher? Or are you just
wait, they have.
But I can see why you'd say no, but I could see why you'd say yes.
So beer bet
Just a
Devante
beer.
Parker over Keenan Allen.
Well, I'm gonna say beer bet Keenan Allen over Devante Parker.
Yeah, I'm in.
Keenan Allen over Devante Parker. Just finish?
Are we doing
finish.
half point PPR? Because I feel like half point PPR, I'll for sure take it. Full point PPR, I don't know if I'll take it.
Half point. We'll do half point.
All right,
I don't play in any full point leagues, so when AMAC tried to pull that with me with Kenyon Drake that one year when we bet.
Yeah. I'll do it.
I don't do
I like the
full point.
touchdown upside for Parker. I mean, a guy, like I said, who fits magic. He just seems to chuck the ball to him, and the guy goes up and he just makes these crazy plays, Devante Parker. The touchdown upside for Keenan Allen, 6. So, and if those targets and those yardage come down, then, yeah, I'll take that half point PPR. Who finishes better, Devante Parker or Keenan Allen?
Keenan's going to give me 9 touchdowns this year.
Hey,
He's
bro,
going to
if
get
you're
him.
getting that,
He's going to
you
get
finish.
him 9, but I'm going to be like, yo.
His 9 equals your 9.
That's
a facto.
It's a facto.
Your 9.
We need to make a
99.
template with just
it's
all
a
of our.
facto. Keenan Allen 99.
We need to do a template with all of our bets, and we can just cover it at the end of every.
Or we can have people pick which side of our bets they like.
Yeah. I like that.
I like that. They
that.
select it with a beer.
I like it.
And that's,
Exactly. They drag a beer, or in my case, a water.
I like it.
All right, well,
Yeah, throw that fucking outro music on, baby.
throw it on that thing.
All right, this has been the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 3, Episode 33.
Ooh, damn.
Our
Pretty
live
somewhere
stream. We do these live streams every Thursday. I think I should have said that at the beginning of the show, but I didn't. I said
Hey,
it right
it's
now.
all right. Yeah, next week's going to be a big one, too. Now it's going to be a lot more relevant.
Yeah, so we're going to talk next week. We're going to talk about next week we're going to talk about what to do if the league gets canceled, or if the season gets canceled, or if it ends early. We're going to go over some rules that you can bring up to your commissioner in your league, and that way you can make sure, especially in dynasty leagues, maybe figure out something. We'll talk about that next week.
Roster spots. Yeah, we'll get to it.
But we're still finalizing stuff on that. But so check that out. Every Thursday we're doing these live streams, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We were a little bit late today, but we're going to be doing them every week. Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think it's like 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast. Sorry, guys.
We good.
But yes. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to us on Apple Podcast app, leave us a rating and review on the Apple Podcast app if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram or Twitter. If you need any type of help for your fantasy football league, we got your back. We'll just literally ask us if you're about to do a draft and you're not sure what certain guys, go ahead and send us a DM. We got your back. Okay?
So we got your back.
We got your back, dude. Yeah, and look forward to the website coming out. Once it's out, we'll be blasting it out there. But it should be in the next week. So hopefully next time we do these live streams, it'll be ready. You know what I'm saying? Like this video if you haven't already, guys. I see 6 people are watching right now. Like the video, god damn it.
Damn, why don't you tell us 6 people are watching?
Sorry. I'm just kidding. You guys are cool. I love you. Anyways, thank you for listening. This is it. This has been AVG Fantasy Football Average. We're a couple of average bros with above average fantasy football knowledge.
Fucking
We're out, dude.